Matthew, it would not be the rumors column without an appetizer or dose of some Commanders news. Deebo Samuel unlikely to return to the team, and 2026 could be Terry McLaurin's last year with the Commanders.
Yeah. Look, the thing is if you remember, there was a contract holdout last year with Terry McLaurin heading into his 30-year-old season, and ultimately they got that done. But McLaurin, not a great year for him last year. He was injured. The production wasn't necessarily there as well. And so I think the thought process is that this is the last year in terms of the extension that McLaurin got. 2026 is the last year of guaranteed money for Terry McLaurin, and so he's just sort of thinking about it logically. They didn't really want to pay him when he was 30. They ultimately did. Do they really want to pay him when he's 32? Now, could he have an amazing year this year and turn it around under new offensive coordinator David Blau? Sure. But the expectation, talking to a team source in Washington, as you know, that's a team I follow closely, and this particular source has been really good over many years, feels like McLaurin's last year is likely 2026, and certainly Deebo, I think, is unlikely to return to the team. So Washington wide receiver is definitely an area of need for the team. They're going to continue to add. This is obviously a big year for Jaden Daniels, third year. They've got 2 more years under his rookie deal, and they're likely probably going to have to redo it after next year, after season 4. So important season for this new offense, and you want to give the new offense coordinator a chance. I think they'll be aggressive in the draft and in free agency at the wide receiver position. Connor, as I mentioned in the column as well, I'm curious what your thoughts are. I know your big board is up on NBCSports.com, and you've done 1 million mock drafts on Stock Exchange. But what I would say is that what was told to me is that they want to go edge rusher, but if the big 3 are gone by 7, Carnell Tate is somebody that they're really interested in.
Makes a ton of sense. We know how important they need a pass rusher for this defense, but there's a world where Arvell Reese is gone, right? David Bailey is gone. We'll see what they think of Reuben Bain and how they value him, and if he's there. And then you look at Carnell Tate and how he would kind of fit in that offense, and his ability, his footwork, his body control. He's a bigger-bodied outside wide receiver. Or the Commanders could be a team, not much day 2 capital because of all the moves they've made over the last year. Do you get out of that 7th slot, let somebody come into it, whether Jeremiah Love is there or Caleb Downs, recoup some of that capital, and maybe you still get a Carnell Tate a couple spots out of that from the draft. So the Commanders are in a very interesting pivot point for the draft, I think, right now.
Hey, real quickly, Connor, before we move on, I'm just curious. There was a lot of news out of the combine about Carnell Tate's 40 time that wasn't as fast as the official time wasn't as fast as some people thought. Then there were some people out there that it seemed like they were carrying the water for Carnell Tate's agent. But my question to you is regardless of what the time, whether it's a 4.45, 4.47, 4.52, how worried do you think NFL scouts are going to be, and how much do you think this affects Carnell Tate's draft stock, if at all? Is this something that would be concerning to you if you were an NFL general manager?
No, when you go through this process, you try to have a good feel of what you think a guy's speed is. If you asked me before the combine, I would have said he's a 4.5 guy. Obviously, there's reports going around that some teams had him at a 4.47. His laser time, which is what we put in the system because it's the most consistent, was a 4.53. So Carnell Tate is a 4.5 guy. He wins with the size, the detail, some physicality as well. So I don't think it's going to affect him too much. I think it's kind of correcting that he's going to go in the 7 to 16 range, not the top 5 kind of range. But the 40-time discourse, the arm length discourse, the NFL Combine has brought up a lot of interesting combos this year with varying opinion.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.